Still needs to be closer to you.
Hmm.
I also need more light in here.
Ooh, here we go. Right, so share.
He does a podcast too, but it isn't live. Yeah.
Well, we used to not do these live.
Right. Don't know if he edits it or not. Welcome to Sound Check. Making sure everything's all right. Let me know when you have yours pulled up.
Oh, let's see here. Mine is pulled up.
Sounds good for me.
Yeah, sounds good for me too.
Sounds good for me.
Yeah. All right, rock and roll.
All right.
Hold for sound.
Let's see. Are you comfortable with that? Because if you're comfortable with that, I'm gonna up your gain a little bit.
I'm fine with how it sounds.
I think if I'm here, I'm gonna be louder than you. So, who's louder, me or Nick? Me.
Me.
Brian.
Nick.
Who's louder?
Oh,
okay. Brian is louder. Maybe I'll pot myself down a little bit. How's that? Who's ever on the left? Equal? Brian, Mr. Regular is louder. Yeah, Nick is like 3 hands away. I'm like a hand and a half away. All right. Corey Williams says you're stuck in Chicago traffic, just saying hi. Well, all right, I guess we'll hold for sound.
Cool.
All right.
Oh, hi. Welcome to RCR podcast number 60, April, May, Hoon. Not because there's actually any hooning involved, but just because I was trying to think of a decent enough May pun that didn't involve Justin Timberlake.
Nice.
So we are here to talk about many things that I can't think of off the top of my head.
Okay.
Because you can go ahead with your things that are, because I don't know how much
make sure the laptop won't heat up, otherwise RIP stream. Yeah, well, the laptop's now on little pieces of wood, little dowels, so it's elevated off the table. So
whoops, there we go.
So we'll see how long that works.
Yeah,
and also this bottle is too long to fit under the table.
So, I went to open mic last night and met 2 fans.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they recognized my voice. Speaking voice, not singing voice, because they showed up after I already went.
Yeah.
One of them, it was their birthday, and their 26th birthday, so they were having a drink.
Yeah.
I was on my way out, but it was nice to run into them because, well, I mean, it never happens locally. Like, that's a strange thing. It's always strange to me when it happens locally, but it's funny, I guess.
Yeah, the only time I was recognized locally was, once at the gym by one of the guys who goes there late, and another time at the Giant. But that's I kind of was ready for it because I was driving the Falcon, and then and I think it was the same people who were driving like a Ford Galaxy that you briefly see in the background of the Turbo LS Winnebago video. The Jacob Shapiro says, did you get to pick one auto only new car and give it a stick shift? What car would you? We'll get to the super chats in a little bit. Let me get my tablet over there because we'll probably talk for a little bit before we get into them. Thank you though.
Yeah. Gary Snyder says, hey guys, I want to let you know that I was given the position of music director for my college radio station. Hearing y'all talk about it got me interested, so I pushed myself freshman year to start. Well, happy we could help you along the way, and I hope it's a position that is very rewarding for you, as it was for us, even though we weren't like music directors. We just had our
congratulations
own, sort of thing. But yeah, we also have I mean, without getting into spoiler territory, but we do have a lot more interesting normal cars, because I know people have been kind of like, where are all the quirky, weird, like shit boxes? It's like they're coming back. It's just there needs to be variety for variety's sake. And it's weird in that, like, my solo reviews, I have a lot of like weird shit boxes because that's what my family has. And so the next one that I'm going to do is my brother's girlfriend's car, which is one of the most notorious like pieces of garbage that sorry, I got distracted by myself. That has come out of like the 2000s. So that'll be fun to do. And also, like, we have to do my uncle's car because
we both have to do that because that's a car I need to talk about. Unless someone else has like the special edition or Dale Earnhardt version, that's probably too many spoilers, but
still, yeah. But I mean, it's also because I know that the initial concern was that like my uncle would see us kind of trashing it. And I posted the Tracker review this week, which was my aunt's car, and that's her husband, you know.
Oh, okay.
And so like, yeah, when she heard that I was coming to do or when he heard that I was coming to review a car, he assumed it was his that I was coming to do. Because it's like, why would you do a Tracker?
Yeah.
But the Tracker review, like I posted that, my aunt didn't watch that. Like, she couldn't possibly care less. Nice. And I wasn't like harsh on the car or anything. It's just that she wanted to help out. She doesn't really care like what it is I do or say, because cars don't mean anything to her.
Right.
Like, she's had a Chevy Tracker for like 10 years. Like, what am I, how much could they, and it's like her second Chevy Tracker. The first one was banana yellow. Like, this is stuff that I cut out of the review because the original cut was like 17 minutes. And I'm like, this is out of control.
How old is your aunt?
She's younger than my mom, so I want to say like 62.
Okay. And those cars ride kind of hard. What does an older person want with one of those things?
Well, it's weird in that, see, I thought there was relatively low body roll, but she said like when it gets really windy, it pushes it around a lot. And it's also that thing of, well, you know, she's not really, you know, taking it anywhere where the terrain is particularly challenging, which makes me wonder like what the point of even having it is. But it's because it's got good gas mileage. She got it on the cheap, and you know, it hasn't given her trouble. As far like, she had in the glove box like a receipt from the last time it was serviced, and it was like ages ago. It had been years, I forget how many years, but it had been a very long time since it actually needed any work done on it. So it's just interesting in the sense that I wasn't really expecting anything of the car, and I guess to wit, the car kind of lived up to my lack of expectations of it. But I think there's something to be said for having forgettable cars that don't really ask anything more of what you're, it's like you're not really asking for this huge, great killer experience. It's just something that, you know, I grew up around Trackers. Like, my mom had a Tracker too. That's other stuff that I like kept out of the thing just to keep it under. And, you know, it's just, that's why like that brief flash,
James Corey, I think, had a Tracker in high school, my high school.
Yeah.
A guy in my class. I think that was his first car. I think he found a way to do a 4-wheel drive burnout through the like the grass parking lot by the football field. So yeah, I guess yeah, I do remember Trackers being kind of improved, but he had.
But the thing is that like, yeah, it's you have a Tracker, but you either had it when it was a Geo, or you had like the Suzuki Vitara, and it's that car that's kind of like omnipresent, but it's also easy to kind of lose it in the crowd. It just blends in. It simultaneously looks like it belongs, but also like it doesn't.
Yeah.
And so from an aesthetic standpoint, it's not particularly striking, but it's not necessarily an eyesore either.
Yeah. You don't know how old the car is, and they always permanently look like they're almost ready to be totaled.
Yeah.
Like their one repair bill, their one $800 repair bill away from having to do the math of, well, the car is worth $1,300 and the repair bill is $800.
Yeah.
Can I get another car like this for $1,300? No. but that's an $800 repair bill, and it's always like that.
Yeah, and because that's not going to be where it ends either. Like it's going to continue along the same route. And what gets me about it is and this is a line that I wish I would have used, but I only just thought of it, which is that it's kind of like it's kind of like women when you get older, that suddenly it can either be a woman who's in her late 20s, or it could be someone who's just totally jailbait, and you have no way of knowing unless you see like several forms of government ID. That's why it's like I if I know they're in a bar, like I feel like I'm safe, because why else? Well, how else would you be in here?
Right.
But even then, I'm not sure. And so,
this is like the time I got my dick grabbed at the bowling alley by that old lady with the press-on nails. I've told that story before, though.
But were they the type of press-on nails where it hurt?
No, I just knew she had press-on nails. She did sort of like this palm grab for my crotch when I went to get a picture of Yingling from the bowling alley bar. About time we get some young blood in here.
Gross. Gross.
And on that note, the Jacob Shapiro asks, say, you get to pick one auto-only new car and give it a stick shift. Okay, we're doing a manual swap. What car would you pick? Also, probably going to buy an NA Miata soon because of you guys. Oh, thank you. So we have to find a car that was only offered in an automatic and give it a manual. I mean, it's been done before, but it would be a Panther body. And someone, in fact, emailed me with a Mercury Grand Marquis with a Tremec in it. So that's and I've seen like autocross videos of Panther bodies and Crown Vics and stuff with 5 speeds in them. I think that's beautiful. A gigantic big American boat with a manual transmission in it. Kick the thing sideways.
Yeah.
Rec says, thank you for your donation. Hello. What it do, guys? Wish it could have been my GTR. Love the review, but would you ever want to experience it at a track one day? Oh, at a track one day. I haven't done anything to it, so it's pretty much identical to the one you reviewed. I would like to be on racetracks more. I would like to be able to drive nice and slow and get over my fear of going fast, and being able to calm my imagination that says you're going to crash at every corner. Do you have an in with any sort of racetracks? I've been trying to get into Pocono Raceway, but no dice. Maybe New Jersey Motorsports Park. And yes, I will be at Radwood, New Jersey, coming up in June, hopefully getting my dad's 1990 Cressida for that.
When in June is that?
It's written on my calendar.
All right. No, I have a lot of things in June. Okay. I have World War II weekend. I have my English. I
haven't been to that in forever.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. It's great. I mean, there's hardly anything to do, but it's still amazing.
Right.
But then the week after that, my English teacher who got me into writing in high school is getting married. And so she asked me to sing at the wedding. And I'm like, I'm not really like that type of, it's just strange that she would ask me, but it like means a lot to her. And so I was like happy to do it. But I brought in my one friend, Matt, who's like a real musician and has like a musical menu that he hands out to people when he shows up for a show.
Nice.
Because he takes requests. So it's like anything that I could sing, he could accompany me on. And if I need a break, he can just take over. And then if he needs a break, I can take over. And then we just split the money.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, because it's something that I don't want to do alone. And it would make me feel more comfortable if I weren't doing it alone, because I have no idea what gigging is like or how much I'm supposed to charge, because I don't really consider myself a musician. Like in the nominal sense, yes, because I've written songs and done all this other like crazy nonsense, but the rest of it is just it's ancillary to everything else that I do. So yeah.
Speaking of music, I am selling my Yamaha DTX Express 4, which is the electronic drum set that I use for RCR like twice.
Yeah, how will we ever do that super band with Tim Strickler and Freddie?
Fred from
Knutson from Down the Rabbit Hole.
It's still gonna happen, but what I'm gonna do is when I sell that, I'm going to buy a marching bass drum.
Ooh.
So we'll still be out. You'll still have a drum section. It's just going to be drum section.
Yeah.
But since I played bass drum in marching band, I can definitely it'll still be a bass beat.
Yeah.
And honestly, because everybody like Fred plays a hurdy-gurdy, you play an acoustic guitar. We can get Tim Strickler, who can bring like a upright bass or a banjo, or he plays a lot of different string instruments. Everything else is acoustic except for an electronic drum set, which you'd have to then assemble, and then you'd have to find a battery power, and then you have to get an amp so you can honestly hear this thing. So I'll just get a drum, which will complete my dream of all of us playing Sons and Daughters by the Decemberists, possibly at too many games.
Nice.
Because Fred's going to be here for that.
Cool. That's the end of June, right?
I have it written on the
calendar.
All right,
yeah, I got nothing going on end of June, so that should be fine. But yeah.
I think it's later. It may be July.
Oh, all right. Yeah, well, still same.
And also, I was watching Foster's YouTube channel. For those of you listening, his channel is Adler Animates, which is an animation channel. And I had it in the background while I was doing something on the computer. And he also can hold a tune. So you could have just someone else who can also sing.
Like layered vocals of just, harmonies, because I love harmonies. Harmonizing. Like it's fun for me. And it puts less of a pressure during like the singing to make you feel like you're the only voice out there.
Right.
It's just like a strange feeling.
And honestly, if we get him and Justin Lowe's, who can also sing. I forget what Justin Lowe's plays. Something. I'd have to like buy like a tambourine or something for like one of the people who are singing who don't have an instrument to just do.
Yeah. It makes me think of like this could be the big crossover event.
Yeah,
because there's
YouTuber this crossover event.
There's this channel that I go to that I watch called Nando V Movies, and for the premiere of the new Avengers, he planned this thing where he got all his fellow like the best film essayists that he knows on YouTube. They would each pick one scene from the Marvel Cinematic Universe and explain why it's important to the universe in their own style. And then they would all release their videos on the same day with the hashtag, like one marvelous scene, so that they're essentially creating not necessarily like a cinematic universe, but they're creating this interconnected work that allows them to sort of have all of their fan bases sort of learn about each other at the same time. There was a comment in there about like, hey, doing the Speed Wars documentary. And I kind of wonder if like something like that would work, where like each person, every automotive like YouTuber we know that we can convince to do this would tackle like a piece of it, and then it just releases at the same day. And then, to get the rest of it, you got to go here for this.
Yeah.
This, you got to go here for this.
A lot of plates to spin, but I could pull that off.
Yeah. It's crazy because like, the Speed Wars thing is something that would have to be like written in the background of everything else that we're doing.
Yeah.
Of just like, okay, this week we write like a page.
Because all I would want to do was cover the Honda CBR 1000 XX Super Blackbird. And the only one I know of that we could get our hands on is in LA. So, but still, that's something. But how many other automotive YouTubers ride motorcycles? Tavares doesn't. Or maybe he did, but doesn't anymore.
I mean, the Speed Wars thing is the most requested RCR story I get. And I'm like, well, that's not my story. Like, It's not something that I would be able to speak.
There was another YouTuber out there who covered it really well.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'd ever do it. It's more likely that I would in lieu of making a novel, because I don't know what to write about except here's a bunch of dumb stuff I did. It would be a bunch of dumb stuff I did, but have it be a comic book. Because I know a few artists.
Yeah.
Now, it'd be a lot of money, more so than writing a book.
Yeah.
Doug DeMuro wrote 2 books, but I read them, and much love to Doug, but I can kind of see what he did. They're kind of like rehashes or expanded things on cars.
Yeah, because if we wanted to, we could literally just print our notes
right,
and sell it as a book. But like, who's gonna really, you know what I mean? Like when you could watch the video,
right.
because I think like some of our humor doesn't really translate in written form.
Not really, because
So
of like timing and stuff.
yeah, it's
not that I'm comparing myself to Samuel Beckett, but reading Waiting for Godot sucks.
Well, yeah, it does.
Mm.
But then, like, I've never seen it staged, and I can't imagine a version of it being staged that doesn't also suck in a certain way.
Mm.
Like, I get why it's an important work and all that other stuff, but it's one of those works that is just never going to. And I took a whole friggin' course on Beckett in grad school, and just the entire time I'm just sitting there like bored to tears, just because I know I'm supposed to get it, but like I don't get it.
That's where we differ. I get it.
Yeah.
I love Beckett.
Mm.
And I thought a lot about it. I think I like had one of the classes at the same time I was doing landscaping one summer, knowing how like my head canon of Waiting for Godot is that these guys are caught in like the interspace or a time loop, or they're in some neither realm. Now, granted, I was smoking a lot of salvia that summer, and and doing landscaping and taking graduate classes. Yeah. So I get it. Like time just keeps going around there. One day we will live, one day we will die, one day I went blind, one day he went dumb, the same day, the same second. We are born astride. We are all born astride of a grave. That's
wow,
a line.
that is a line.
Yeah.
Time is a flat circle and all that shit.
Robbie Steinmetz says, what is the automotive equivalent of the Millennium Falcon? Because it's a freighter, but it's also fast. Okay, something agricultural or something commercial that's also really quick. I guess you would have to get like a Ford Transit and put like a like the motor from an RS in there. The equivalent of a Millennium Falcon. Something that looks like, I mean, well, you could pick any of the sloppy builds. A car that something that looks like a piece of junk, but it's the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy. There was a really good, this was an older Smoking Tire episode where a guy had a Rambler American wagon with like an LS7 in it or something. You know, looks like trash, built with junkyard parts, and one of the best driving cars he ever drove. Something like that. I mean, I know it's not imaginative to say some big American boat with an LS engine in it, but a big American boat with an LS engine in it.
More or less.
Bob, on a long enough timeline, LS Tesla? Nope, the LS Tesla would take, you would have to find a place to put that engine, and there's no engine bay. So in the front, no, that's just a trunk. Well, just put it in there. I'm sure someone could figure it out, but you'd have to rip everything electronic out of that car and be left with a frame, and then just start welding in engine mounts. And then you just have some Summit racing gauges on the inside of a Tesla, and then it would have an LS in it. You'd have to get rid of the rear axle. You'd have to strip that thing down to its body, and then start again as if it's a classic car. So yes, it could do that, but you'd have to have someone with fuck me money to work.
Yeah, someone says just
thank you for your donation.
Yeah, someone just says put the Tesla body on a Camaro.
All right.
And then you get like an LS.
Okay. But it's a gigantic unibody. Get what they're saying now. And so is a Camaro. Everything's a unibody now.
Yeah. I don't know. Can't spell Tesla without LS.
Yeah.
Well, in the other direction, but yeah.
Angry Clown 1990 says, I recently bought a 1972 Cadillac Eldorado convertible for $600. Where and how? That's a hell of a price. It's a lot of car. It's rough, but it runs great. It actually runs. You got it for $600. Did you buy it from a meth head? I mean, how did you find that? Can't wait and start restoring it. Well, congratulations to Angry Clown for finding such a magnificent beast for under 1,000. You can't do that. I'm guessing you maybe live in Arizona or something like that.
Yeah.
Question for Nick.
Oh, wow. Cool. How desperate is Roman wanting a Suzuki Jimny he saw in New York? Think Suzuki could try the similar scheme that Mahindra brings in their Jeep, the Roxor? Well, it won World Urban Car of the Year, the Jimny, and it was something that I didn't necessarily think was something that we were going to get. Like, I still don't think we're going to get it. And so the idea that it would be well, wait, how'd the rest of the question go? I've already forgotten in my rambling.
Oh. Let me find it again.
Yeah. But I mean, it was one of my most wanted cars there just because it felt like something that was, it looks like fun and it looks practical, especially in a place where, I'm not necessarily I don't want a street park, but I have to. So it's, things. Think Suzuki could try the similar scheme? Yeah, it could, or they could, but it's just, I don't know. It's hard to really tell what the whole approach is, because it's like here, this person says the Mahindra Roxor is a Jeep CJ7 copycat, which, I mean, to that extent, how many more cars like this do we necessarily need in this area? But I still want it. You know, it's like if you build it, they will come, and I'm convinced that they will come if they build this and give it to us.
It's like a Jeep Renegade without the Tacticool.
Yeah, more or less.
Derek Schultz, or excuse me, I skipped over. Burgundy Burnouts, hello, doesn't have a question, but thank you for your donation. Derek Schultz says, I had a Cobalt LS. It sucked ass. Gave it to my sister. I got a 96 BMW 320i. Zippy, but hold on. 328i. Zippy, but something breaks every other day. Well, it's a classic BMW. Recommendations on next car. $2,000 range, sporty feeling. You're going to get neither of those things. Toyota Corolla manual. That is what's going to be reliable for $2,000. Is it going to be sporty? No. Is it going to work? Yes. Yep. Thank you for your donation, Derek.
Thank you.
Daniel Spin. Thank you for $2 Canadian. What is required to be a fixer? Maybe can do 4MTL. I don't know what 4MTL is. A fixer is just a general term for someone who lives in country that helps journalists when you come in for navigating the landscape. I'm judging you're probably Canadian. We already have our Canadian fixer in Ivan, who is actually coming on Tuesday. He sent me an email and said he's doing a job in the city, has a day or two off on his way back, and just wanted to talk about RCR Toronto.
Oh, cool.
And RCR Toronto is over your civic holiday in August.
Yes.
So we still have to find cars. I have to find a horrible dog shit car in the Toronto area because he's going to bring like his red and like his really good cameras, but he wants to film a horrible beat up car.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like he wants to film like a Top Gear style video. Well, Top Gear visually.
Yeah.
But with a car that's just rusted to crap. It's terrible. It's like headliner sagging. I mean, I'd like to find something like a Pontiac 6000. So might have to make a video like directly asking people, hey, people in the Toronto area, I have to find a terrible car to film. It can't look good. It must be a heap. It must look like it's from Florida. What's the Canadian equivalent of Florida?
Give me you're tired, you're weak,
you're Tommy Bahamas.
Yeah.
Florida is a state of perpetual pleasure, or chronic. Florida is a state of chronic pleasure.
Yes.
God, everybody was so fat at the airport. There's two airports in Orlando. There's Orlando, and then there's Orlando Sanford, which is kind of like Harrisburg if it wasn't quaint.
Harrisburg without the charm.
Yeah.
Or at least with a different kind of charm.
Like Harris, or if you want to be cool, MDT. Which used to be called like Middleton Airport or something, but it's Harrisburg International Airport, international, because they fly a flight to Toronto like every month. So international. So you go into Harrisburg International Airport and it's just like a vaporwave airport. It's at the beginning of the collapse of the mall. It looks like a mall that's been it looks like a mall from like 2002 that's just been renovated and the owner has hope.
Yeah.
Because the airport's super clean.
Yeah.
Because no one's in it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's like American, United, Delta sometimes, and then Frontier and Allegiant fly out of there. The only carrier that flies in and out of Orlando Sanford is Allegiant.
Yeah.
Also, I sat next to like a guy who formerly owned a dealer on my way back from Orlando. I sat next to a guy who owned a Honda dealership on Lancaster Pike, or excuse me, Manheim Pike. And he said we could come down there and check out some of his cars in his collection. Like he sold the dealership to his son. And we talked the whole way because it was neat to find like a man who's my dad's age, but is super into JDM cars.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's, yeah. Oh, yeah, that is something.
He bought me a beer. Like, I was about to pay $7 for a Stella. But then he said, I'll get it. Because, like, I sat right up front. Like, there was no bulkhead in front of me. I'm just facing the pilot door. On this Allegiant flight. And so I started talking to him, and then the crew member comes by and says, you want anything to drink? And I was planning on not paying any sort of money for snacks on the plane. It's an Allegiant flight. The flight was $83 one way. Like, I paid one way and like Tavares paid the other way on the way back. So it was like 2-1 trip. Anyway. So this guy orders a beer and like kind of like reflectively of like, you know what, I'll have one. And then he says, I got it. And I'm like, all right, I got cash.
You do the haggle.
You do the reverse haggle.
Yeah.
And then whatever. Turns out like their machine broke, so we got the beers for free.
Nice.
So
very nice.
So yeah. He has a bunch of like Honda N600s or something like that. This is stuff from like the 60s. So super tiny. Anyway, so Daniel Spin says, what is required to picture? Maybe I can do 4 MTL. I still don't know what MTL is. Maybe people in the chat are saying what that is.
Montreal?
Anyway, Montreal?
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing.
RCR. Thank you, Daniel Spin.
Yeah.
Josh Pohl. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Just wanted to donate a few dollars. Thank you for doing so. Girlfriend and I really like the show. She especially liked the Focus Meet vid. I drive an ST, so she quotes that video all the time. I'm unique because I bought the cold air intake. Have a drink on me. I'm doing that, and I will have another.
Yes.
I am drinking Sunshine Pills by Trogs. One of the only Pilsners I like. Hello, Workforce 520. Good to see you again. Great meeting you in LA. It wasn't the tires that were being lowered on my Icon. It was the right wheel bearing going bad. Ah, gotcha. Also replaced both control arms, almost $1,000. Bad times, man. But thanks for driving me all the way up to Malibu Kitchen. That was fun.
It's a good place.
Yeah. Did I tell you that like this homeless guy yelled at us, or he yelled in general?
No.
We were walking along the beach in Malibu, just like two dudes walking along the beach boardwalk, like the cement boardwalk. And I see this homeless guy and I'm like, we should either walk on the sand to avoid him or just walk really fast when we go by him. And there were some other people riding bicycles. So as we walked by this homeless guy, I guess another, like a bicyclist came the other way. And the homeless guy said, I've got more miles on me than all of y'all. Lance Armstrong can suck my fucking dick. Like really loud.
It's like, why though? It's just, I mean, well, that's the thing of like, you can't think in those terms of like, to what end is this being said?
Yeah.
Like, what is being accomplished here? So
Sean Brewer, no question, but thank you for the $1. Lisa E. Hello, Lisa E. Endgame spoiler, Aquaman drowns. Thank you for your donation, Lisa E. Yeah. Fiera Fan 86. Is this Nush? Not sure. Looking forward to the Endgame review on Limited Time Roman.
Oh, it's funny. When we saw Endgame, we went on opening night. Don't worry, there's not going to be.
I didn't see it yet.
There's not going to be any spoiler things here.
I think I'm not going to see it until I get on an airplane, unless I like make a point to go watch it.
Well, did you see Infinity War?
No, like but I know what happened because I YouTube clipped my way through it.
Yeah. But okay, so Infinity War really messed my nephew up, like leaving the theater. He was kind of in this, the closest facsimile that I can think of it is when we went to see the Ronda Rousey Holly Holm fight at that bar, and she got like knocked the fuck out, and we drove home in silence.
Yeah.
And we just didn't say anything. It was just like, what are we going to talk about? And so like, it was the same way once we got out of Infinity War, and it was also kind of the same way like getting out of Endgame, and for, you know, reasons. But not necessarily good or bad reasons. It's just like, what are we going to say? And I realized we almost kind of can't review it because it's hard to really be objective about it because, you know, we watch the MCU movies like repeatedly, he and I. So it's like reviewing a piece of your history. And I don't think that it was necessarily something that he's that accustomed to approaching.
Seeing a movie where the antagonist is victorious.
Yeah.
Think about that for a minute. I'm about to shove a nose hair trimmer up my nose.
Go for it. Yeah, with Infinity War, it's like the bad guy wins. So what are you going to say about it? But it's like also with Endgame, it's the culmination of it's the culmination of 22 movies. And so, you know, what are you going to say about that other than, you know, the movie's good? Like, I know what I would say about it, but like if I did an Endgame review on my personal channel, it would just be me talking. So, because I don't think Nate is at that point where he can take like a critical approach to something that he's this invested in. Nate being my nephew, to those who don't know. And also, for Limited Time Roman, literally yesterday, we released our New York Auto Show video because I took Nate to the New York International Auto Show for the first time, so that he can meet his dream cars in person, which are like basically any Lamborghini. And he kind of like had that same sort of like muted reaction of like, I don't really know how to react right now. And it's all the other like cool little things that you could do at the New York Auto Show, like drive this mini garbage truck or not drive it, but, you know, like sit in it and operate the controls, and this like street sweeper also. And so that video is on my personal channel, Limited Time Roman. And it has the some deleted scenes from my RCR New York Auto Show video, because that New York Auto Show video for RCR was like 10 minutes, and I'm like, this doesn't work. And so I cut a bunch of them out. Oh, are you doing that like trick that we saw at the hotel the one time?
I pulled it off once, the ability of opening a bottle with another bottle, but
yeah,
that's just me not wanting to get up and go get a bottle opener, which I will do right now.
Why didn't we ask if they had a bottle opener at the hotel that one time?
Because I didn't want to look like an alcoholic.
Oh, that's like that time where like we clogged the toilet and asked for a plunger, and then the next day we clogged the toilet again and we didn't ask for the plunger back. We had to look up ways online to declog a toilet without a plunger so that we didn't look like assholes who were repeatedly like taking enormous fibrous shits and just which is exactly what we were doing. We were only using a modest amount of toilet paper, but still, we're big boys, and it's just but it's just funny because it ended up, the solution ended up being using like conditioner or shampoo or something, and then just letting it steep, and eventually, like after a few hours, it went down. Doesn't negate the fact that we had to use the bathroom again, but for that, I think I remember just going down into the lobby and using their bathroom, because I'm just like, this isn't going to be on me.
After that experience, I've taken this forward. Like, if you got to take a thunder dump, go in the lobby.
Exactly, because they have the high pressure flush. But they should someone needs to invent like a Swiss Army plunger, that, because you never know when you're going to need it, and then if they don't provide one, like why don't they provide plungers in the well, I mean, I guess they want to leverage against people making the situation worse, but still, just like something you can pull out and then it expands.
A guy from the regular chat says, I have to poop again and I just wiped. That's why you should get a bidet, because you can clean your butt in between squeezes. Also, Hello Tushy or something, like sponsor us or something like that. I would gladly hawk that product. Chris McCarthy says, prepping a Ford Aerostar for the Detroit Gambler 500 this weekend and listening to RCR. Good times, keep being awesome, guys. Good luck, Chris, and thank you for your donation. Robert S. says, interesting fact of the day. The guy who designed the Aztec also designed the C7. And Samuel and Mark Twain was known by Samuel Clemens, Mark Twain. Sorry to take that as a cheap shot. Also, do you think a naturally aspirated Impreza to BRZ engine swap is possible? Wait, what? Also, do you think an Impreza NA to BRZ engine swap is possible?
I mean,
well, a BRZ is using a are you talking about like a WRX engine? Like to get a turbo? I don't quite follow that.
I mean, if you believe in yourself enough, I imagine.
I don't know what do you just do you want the 2.5 NA in the BRZ? Because you don't even have to do that if power is what you want. I mean, they make supercharger kits for the BRZ. I mean, anything is possible with money, but I don't think it's a wise swap. In the same way as the 2ZZ engine swap on the third gen MR2 is possible, but it's pointless. Because, okay, you'll get 40 more horsepower, and in exchange, it's going to cost like $2,000 to pay someone to put that thing in. Yeah. So I don't really get what you're on about. But thank you so much, Robert S., for your donation. Angry Clown 1990 says, it's kind of a fun story. I am in Alabama. The car belonged to one of those typical, the guy who bought the 72 Eldorado. Belonged to one of those typical car hoarder graybeards. Gotcha. So he's just got to make room for something. There's a guy in New Ringgold who's like a car hoarder, but he doesn't like live on a farm or anything. It's like every square inch of this guy's backyard in the town is cars. And he has them parked up on the sidewalk. I guess he owns the sidewalk. It's like one of those houses that also has one of those really old bars in Reading. I guess it would be a bodega.
Oh, yeah. Like it's literally just a corner
of his house. Somehow is registered like commercial.
I have a liquor license.
Yeah. Angry Cow 1990 says he passed away, went to the estate. the guy at the Eldorado. He passed away, and I went to the estate sale and bid on the car on a whim. Needed a parts car for a project, and then it'd be new too nice to take back. Man, how do you find estate sales?
I don't know.
I don't need things. I don't need more things. But the idea of finding like some like something that was super cherished and you bought it for $1.
Yeah.
I don't know why that makes me excited.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like The Price is Right, where $1 actually wins.
Yeah.
Is like a winning bid.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny because it's those types of things happen, not like estate sales necessarily, but like police auctions happen a lot in and around the Reading area.
I've never been to one of you.
But I see signs for them every couple of months, like a Reading police auction or something. And it's just something that I'm always like,
yeah,
because I know that it's mostly going to be repossessed items that, like, I don't know. It's just so sketch though, because you don't know.
Xbox 360 with cigarette stains on it.
Yeah, and I don't know. If someone was beaten with that, like, I don't want a blood-stained, Atari 2600, even if it is only costing me 50 cents.
Right.
I don't know why you'd repo something with such relatively low value anyway, but
right.
Hey, do you hear that they opened up a beer wall in my hometown that it's a self-serve beer place. You walk in, you put all your money. Sorry, this is getting off topic. It's just I know I'm going to forget this. You walk in, you give your card to the bartender. They give you a little like Dave and Buster's type card that's good there. You go over to the like wall of taps and of whatever it is that they're serving. There's one downstairs and one upstairs, like a wall. You put the card into the little slot, then pour, and then after you're done, it'll read out like however much that pour costs. And then whenever you're done, you take the card back to the bartender. She gives you back your card and you like pay out, because like whatever you are paying, whatever your bill has amounted to so far is on the card that they give you. And then when you give it to them, that's when you pay out and you can pay cash or card, whatever. But it's a way of keeping track.
Did they keep your credit card?
Yes. Well, they hold on to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then once you give them back their card, they give you back yours and you cash out. And I imagine if you lose the card, there's some kind of like fee or something. I don't know. But it's just kind of it's a great place. And I was there and I ran into my brother there of all things. And that's when I asked his girlfriend if I could do her car with them. And yeah, so that'll be a fun one just to bring it back to cars, I guess.
Yeah. Oh no, it's Brittany. No question, but thank you. Thank you for your donation. Dick Fawcett. Nice. I have an 89 Camry, no tax stock. Awesome.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Rad. Take it to Radwood. Awesome. Thank you for your donation, Dick Fawcett. Maya butt reeks. I've been a substitute teacher. I know how it goes. You can find a decent Ford ZX2 for $2,000. Ah, cool. We did a review on one of those down in Lynchburg, Virginia. Mechanical Dan, thank you for your donation. Just says, what's up from the gym? Do I want to go to the gym? It's 7:01 already, is it?
Oh, that's right. You have a gym that's open forever. Because my gym closes at 8 o'clock. So if I want to go, I have to go as soon as my riding routine, like I go to my local cafe, like, well, I mean, I have to drive there now. I used to be able to walk, but then I go and change out into my like gym clothes, walk over to the gym, and I have maybe like an hour or two there before like they're going to start closing down. I take that hour to shower and then I'm just like good to go. But it's hard because sometimes you'll wake up in the middle of the night and feel like, I could really use the gym right now.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, I could go later or I could record the week after next review. Depends if I drink a third beer or not.
Whatever makes you feel good.
Okay, this one's from Nick.
Oh, cool. Hey, Nick, there's a fantastic documentary on Dale Earnhardt done by Emp Lemon. Have you guys seen it? It seems right in your wheelhouse. Collab, please. I have not. But it's also something that, I mean, I'd love to do collaboration with someone at some point on one of these documentaries, but it's hard because they take me forever to write. Like we've been through this, like us, me and the viewers, about how ridiculously long the writing takes on some of these, because I want to have the next one out by the time like Too Many Games rolls around.
Right.
But it's, I don't know, the writing is slow going, especially now that I do like my own like solo review videos, which I mean, those really don't take that long. It's just the recording and the sound thingies that are more, you know, an issue for me. But for the most part, you know, writing them and recording them, or writing and editing them, are fine. It's just, I want to get it right, because it's also something that, like, I don't really care about the overall cinematography of like what my reviews look like. It's very much like proto, like early season RCR of just like, I don't have equipment for this. I have a GoPro that apparently like tried to commit suicide while on the back of my car while viewing my aunt's tracker.
The best part is back up.
Yeah.
Back up more.
Yeah, I was telling my DT to back up.
GoPro.
I'm just like, go back. Yeah. And then she had to turn the car back on to back it up. And so, she felt so bad about it. I'm like, no, these are functionally indestructible for the most part. You could have run over it completely. She had just run over the suction mount. Like, and it had bent so that the casing wasn't usable anymore, but the GoPro was fine.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Michael Kamka says, love this channel. Don't know what that means. SM. Plans coming.
So much.
Oh, so much. Internet speak. Plans coming back to ATX. I'm gathering that's Atlanta.
Atlanta's ATL.
Oh, okay. ATX.
Oh, maybe they mean Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas. Okay. Yes. I will be there in October. I don't know the specifics yet or the time. It's going to be early October. That's when I'm going back to Harris Hill solo and just running the track. I'll probably film something.
Yeah.
But it's mostly me and Nugget and Monica. Oh, yes. And also the Johnsons. Because they're swinging by doing their own thing. That's when they're taking this road trip across the U.S.
Well, no, it can't be, because how would they get it over there? The giant bus.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I was gonna.
No, they're flying to they're flying into L.A., doing the L.A. thing, then flying to Dallas, Texas, and they say they want to rent a camper van, but not in the sense that we have camper vans. Like, we have RVs. We have conversion vans, and we have those mini camper vans that are kind of just like box trucks.
Yeah.
But what they're talking about is something more like a Ford Econoline or a Chevy 3500 work van that's been outfitted as a camper, complete with a little kitchen out the back. We don't really do those.
No, we really don't.
They do them in Europe. They do them in the UK. They do them in Australia and New Zealand, but they don't really do them here.
No.
So maybe they'll find one. They're Kiwis. They're resourceful. But anyway, the Johnsons are coming here to this part of PA at some part. It's going to be like the last leg of their trip.
Very nice. Very nice.
So we'll see them then. Bob, thank you for your donation, Bob. Did 1970s General Motors make a regular car that didn't suck? I want one for whatever reason. Which land boat is best land boat? Yeah, well, a C10 would be a C10 square body. That will be, you can keep one of those running for forever. But I guess you want a car. So that's going to be tough. I think late 70s Chevy Celebrity, maybe.
A Buick something or other.
Yeah.
Like a Lucerne or.
I have a soft spot for the Chevy Vega, but that's not an answer you didn't want to hear. So I'm going to go with square body pickup Chevy square body from the 70s because nothing ever changes on those things. And they don't suck at all. In fact, prices of them are going way up. Will, thank you for your generous donation. Unfortunately, I can't make the podcast because of a mountain bike workout. In both of your opinions, politics. Oh. In both of your opinions, what are your thoughts on Joe Biden running for president? Also, RCR Seattle when? I don't know when we're going to do RCR Seattle. I've been to Seattle more than once. It's very cool. I used to have family that lived there, but they all moved to Florida.
Don't they all?
So, my thoughts on Joe Biden running for president.
I mean, I don't
care. In 2020.
Like, I mean, I care superficially, but I've kind of resigned myself to certain outcomes, and doesn't mean I'm still not going to do my civic duty. But
the only thing that unseats a president during peacetime is the economy, and right now the economy is doing fine. Just ask George H.W. Bush. He won the Gulf War. George H.W. Bush won the Gulf War and didn't get reelected.
Yeah, but
because of the early 90s recession. And right now, the economy's doing okay. So that's my answer to that.
Yeah.
Boris T.S. Carl O. Hello, familiar face. Just got my tax return. Have some money. Well, you didn't have to do that, but thank you. Thank you for your donation. Okay. Yes, thank you, Boris. Carl Broom says, have you guys ever got a cramp in your butthole from trying to not poop your pants? I have never held it in ever. So no.
Not a cramp.
I mean, I had my Boston greatest poop of my life story, but that's really just, it's having to poop mixed with booze, mixed with beer, mixed with tater tots, mixed with first night in Boston versus running and being jostled and oh my God, it smells like Cheeto farts in here.
It's just a gastronomic stew.
Yeah. Greatest shit of my life. I'm going to go to my grave thinking about that dump. Nothing can compare of that brown exorcism in the Boston Park Plaza Hotel on New Year's night, 2007, I think.
Just come closer. I have something to tell you before I go. That shit in Boston is one of the best of my life. Oh, dude.
Dan Dunlop, thank you for your donation. I'm going to pick up a 2-wheel drive Nissan hardbody with a KA tomorrow. Good choice. Anything specific to look out for? I have no idea, Dan. I know nothing about Nissans. Asking you two as well as the chat. Thank you for your videos. I don't know much. You'd be good to ask my friend Dan Solner, who knows Nissans. But yeah, I have no idea. But you picked a great pickup truck. I think who also drives a Nissan hardbody is Matthew Gaffords, who made that a Fox in Space animation. If Star Fox was a 1970s cartoon, he drives a Nissan hardbody. It was his first car. He's been driving it for 22 years. It's from like 89. It's like almost the same year as the one you're looking at. It's like, yeah. It has 280,000 miles on it. It won't stop running. I am not getting rid of this truck. It's too good. Moving on. Silver Stacks. Have you guys ever been to Lake Winona, PA? Not only have I been to Lake Winona, PA, I've done landscaping work there and thought about Waiting for Godot and the Theater of the Absurd and Alan Watts. I've shoveled lots of mulch in that place. And Lake Winona is an area of Pennsylvania because it's a gated community where everybody goes to smoke weed because since it's private land, police don't patrol there.
Yeah.
So they have like a RAV4 with amber hazard lights, amber cop lights on it. It's a mall cop.
Yeah,
that drives around
really.
It's kind of like a little piece of no man's land in the middle of Appalachia, PA. So I know very well Lake Winona, PA. You can drive your 4 wheels on the road. No one cares. Very 7 as. Don't know what this means. Hey guys, I daily the Harold Slavinsky special, a 2007 Honda Accord. I can't even do the voice anymore. It's been like 5 years. Save some options in color. Ever chance of getting a 7th gen Accord re-review? No. In RCR's more polished form? No. I mean, that was one of my favorite reviews, and no, that's the 7th generation Accord.
Yeah.
So no, we will never revisit that one because that was everything we needed to say. Very rarely do we do a car twice unless either there's money involved, see also sponsorship, or if there's stuff that's been left unsaid.
Yeah, or something that changed, like the difference between the stock Falcon and then the Falcon after it was done.
Exactly. So thank you for your donation. Wookie Automoto TV says, driving the NASCAR hauler to Dover, Delaware tonight. Have a drink on me. Nice. So, oh yeah, that's right. You did some work at Pocono or something like that. Driving the NASCAR hauler. Nice. I guess there's like Dover Speedway or something like that. I think we've reached the end.
Do I look weird? I look like my body's out of proportion. Like I like my I mean, I know my head is too big. It's always been too big. But I mean, like my frame is, it's weird. I have this like boxy, maybe it's the shirt I'm wearing, but it looks like my arms are really skinny.
Oh.
And that's why, like, I don't know if I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we're kind of in this shot. We're a little bit underexposed.
Maybe. Yeah, I think it's just what I'm wearing.
I guess. Rafael Varga doesn't have a question, but thank you so much for the €1.
Thank you. I started writing scripts started reading scripts from the Blacklist, which is the annual list of the top unproduced screenplays in Hollywood, as voted on by agents, executives, fellow screenwriters. And as I'm working my way through this list, I keep thinking, there are parts that I wish I could rewrite. Not that I could do it better, but just that I could do it differently. There's a script that was one of the top vote getters. It's called Harry's All Night Hamburgers. And it's like a mixture of, it's like Back to the Future meets, I don't know, a different version of Back to the Future. It's basically this kid who lives in a really, really small town and finds out that his local hometown diner is a portal to, or it's basically a truck stop for parallel world travelers.
All right.
And so he goes searching for the universe where his childhood sweetheart like feels the same way about him. But he realizes that like what he's looking for is not really what he's looking for.
Right.
And it's really emotional too. I mean, you can find any of the Blacklist scripts on Reddit. They're all there, but the Harry's All Night Hamburgers was my favorite one, right up there with Promising Young Woman, which is kind of like a really messed up kind of story, but I think it'll be kind of a controversial thing. And unlike Harry's All Night Hamburgers, I think Promising Young Woman is actually being made like now. So that's, I don't know. It's weird because I like reading screenplays. I love the format. I love the layout, and it's just so comforting to read. They're also kind of like slug lines and all these different.
What are slug lines?
The establishing like the location, interior, Brian's apartment, day. And so you end up with this type of format that is very much in the moment. It's like writing a novel it's like, no, it's really kind of not like a novel. It's different from the actual visual media of film, but it's not quite like any other written medium.
Right.
So I don't know. I've been kind of obsessed with those for a while, and I've been trying to get my hands on the Ford v Ferrari script because I want to see like what they're going to do with that. Yeah.
Because it's still not out.
Yeah, no, it comes out in November.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, it'll be interesting. It was supposed to come out this June, but they pushed it back to get it closer to award season because they're going to make an Oscar run with that.
Who stars in it?
Matt Damon, Christian Bale.
Right.
It's yeah, it's all leading to like the 1966 Le Mans and all that crazy stuff. I think it's based on the book Go to Hell, but don't quote me on that. I'm not entirely sure, but it's a very famous book about the whole 66 Le Mans and the Ford Ferrari rivalry. So yeah, that should be a really interesting movie, and I'm looking forward to it. It's like among my most anticipated of the whole year. So that'll be a great movie, although I don't expect it to be like a super like I expect it to be sort of a movie that takes place in like not necessarily boardrooms, but like in bars and things.
I like that.
Yeah, me too.
Like I can't remember who I was talking to. It might even been Freddie Hernandez from the YouTube channel Tavares, where we were talking about a film or something like that, and I think I was making the argument that smoking helps in films, and I don't know, and I need to figure out a reason why. Like we both have a love of noir film, and the look of it, but it's not the same if no one's smoking or drinking.
Exactly.
So it's brilliant. Like people got about Mad Men that everybody was always smoking, and granted, it was probably more than what they did, but I guess it's an element within the frame that's moving when the characters aren't.
Yeah. It pulls focus in a way.
Yeah.
But my thing with smoking on film is that it's the same thing of like a newsroom in a 70s movie versus a newsroom in a movie now. Like if you look at a movie that's about journalism, something like Spotlight, and it's kind of like all quiet and computers, everything. But then you go and look at like All the President's Men or even like Superman, and it's just like, click, 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 click. Like it's just a riot of sound and smoke and just, water cooler sounds and coffee being like percolating and all this stuff. And I guess Spotlight's kind of an unfair example because it's meant to be a really small team, but even then, it's the differences in the way we present the fabric of our reality, I guess, because in our real world, even though we're slowly getting more and more to a place where there's nowhere on earth that you can actually legally smoke. People still smoke and they still do it a lot. So,
and the thing about real cigarettes is they don't really create that much smoke. But in movies, you got to use prop cigarettes because it's right there in the wiki of Mad Men about how, like there's a quote from whatever director. I don't know. I guess there was multiple directors. But like, in TV or in film where there's multiple takes, you don't want to give actors real cigarettes because the nicotine will make them throw up. So you got to give them fake cigarettes that are just like herbal cigarettes or just something in there that burns that you can inhale and you don't even have to inhale, you just mouth it. And then it comes back out again. But that stuff creates more vapor than a real cigarette, which real cigarettes aren't really made to create that much smoke. And I can say that from experience because when I worked at the computer company, boss sat right next to me, and she smoked like an old Fiat. So and there really wasn't a haze in the room at all. So I mean, granted, they had one of those sharper image like air cleaners things. There's some other point I wanted to make about smoking in films and how it's neat. Oh yeah, like an example of like fake cigarettes is the first Voight Comp scene in Blade Runner. That guy is like, he's like vaping before it was real. Go back and watch that scene. There is so much smoke coming out of almost both ends of this fake cigarette.
Ripping fat clouds.
It took me out of that scene just a little bit. I mean, I get it. It's neo-noir, which we need more of almost always. And that's still something I want to do sometime. Is just create a video called Exposition, the movie.
Exposition, the motion picture. It's that's another thing I noticed reading the scripts is how clumsy a lot of the exposition is. Well, I got to go out today because my daughter is, instead of saying something like, well, I got to get home because my daughter's turning 4 and I already missed the first 3. You know, like you say something.
Sorry, I hit the mic.
You say something clumsier, like, "Well, my daughter is turning 4, and my wife is already mad that blah 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 blah." This like saying more than you need to say, which is rich coming from me, but still.
Rack again said, would love to see a 302 Windsor in my Benz C-Class for a laugh. All right. And fun. I mean, I'd guess you'd have more torque. Don't know if you have more horsepower. Carbureted, of course. I was inspired by both your Falcon and the Outback in the market of Shrewsbury video. Yeah. In that one video, for those guys who didn't see it, there was like an 05 Outback. My eye just went squish. That was really weird. Yep. They're both equally fucked up, so everything's normal.
Nice.
Yeah, there was an 05 Outback that had a 302 Windsor block in it that was carbureted. And I thought, that's neat. But supposedly he's there all the time. So, I mean, they could be done, I guess. Cut a bunch of stuff and cram that old antiquated engine in there. And thank you for being inspired by the Falcon. And thank you for your donation. Carl Boom. Oh, and by the way, if you want to see how bad my vision is, without my glasses, this is how close I have the laptop to my face to read it correctly. Carl Broom says, how do y'all feel about the recreation? Oh, we have a recreational weed vote in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
I'm all for it. It's not going to pass. It's too soon.
No, it's too soon.
Too soon.
Well, I mean,
it's there to just put cracks in the ceiling or put cracks in the foundation.
Well, what's strange is that I think it's in Philadelphia that they're looking at opening a safe house for like drug users. Basically, where you can go and use drugs, but there will be someone on hand with like Narcan if you overdose.
I get,
which is
overdose on weed.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's just it's just strange. I mean, anytime I read the news, the comments in the news posts on Facebook, which I don't know why I do it, but it's just a lot of it's a lot of mid-staters complaining about the infestation of brown people in their area, like being unabashedly racist the entire time and homophobic. And it's just like, man, this is such a bad look for my state.
On our starter packs, it's like every Facebook news commentator, and it's just picture of guy, like, okay, the position of the camera is the steering wheel of his pickup truck looking back, baseball hat with the black flag on it, not the black flag, the band, but like the American flag with black and white on it. And you have the Oakley sunglasses. And it's just that look, also 40 pounds overweight. Like, used to be in shape in high school, dad.
Yeah. Look. Concealed carry, and it's nothing gets his dick harder.
Mechanical Dan says that means go to the gym. You mean because I'm wondering if I should or shouldn't go to the gym? That means go to the gym. Not sure, but thank you for the 4 exclamation points, and thank you for your donation. Crazy Ivan 2 times. Hello. Mr. R, what happened to your hair? My girlfriend says it's cute. My old hair, my new hair. Well, I'm losing my hair, Ivan. So this conceals my hair loss. It's the last line of defense before shaving it.
It's an elegant solution for a more civilized age.
So this is how my hair is going to look, guys. Embrace it. Just like, the new act, like the first, like, when they had to change actors between Iron Man and Iron Man 2 for Brody.
Brody got a new actor.
Yeah.
And it was, they went from Terrence Howard to Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
And they just kind of don't.
And his first line is Don Cheadle is like, it's you, it's me, get used to it.
Yeah.
Like acknowledging, different actor. Yeah. So, this is my new hair. Get used to it. Can you guys make an RSS feed for your podcast? Says Zach Smith. Thank you for your donation. I don't know how to do that.
We do. No, it's literally if you go to the regular car reviews podcast on Shout Engine, there should be a little RSS feed tab there, and then you just click on that. And but I don't know if that's like developer tool type things of like that we're seeing it, but they're not, because I honestly don't know. You know, like if I had any idea how I was actually doing a podcast, we would have sponsors by now. But alas, like I don't know how that happens, how sponsorships happen. Like it makes no sense.
Freddie told me something that I'm going to take forward about sponsorships. And I get emails about, hey, I'm blah, blah, blah from blah, blah, blah. We're interested in your content. Like, we like what you've been doing with regular cars YouTube. We have and here's our Bluetooth device, or here's your car charger. He says, here's what you do. You just says, thank you. I am interested. Our going rate is $5,000. Just do that. And if they come back, then maybe negotiate something.
Yeah, it's
kind of like a half go away amount that they're not going to pay that to put that in the video. But like the worst thing that can happen is they say we can do that, and then you make $5,000.
Yeah.
Or you maybe can go back and forth and like settle on a price that results in I guess.
Yeah, because people, I don't know. Like I'm not opposed to selling out within reasonable limits.
Yeah.
You know, it's as long as you still retain autonomy of a, well, then I guess it's not selling out if you're, but still, you know what I mean? It's like, you're not sacrificing who you are just to plug a product, provided that it's actually a decent product, because we have had products that we opted not to plug.
Oh yeah. Like there was this whole thing. There was a gimbal that somebody sent me. Now it was like an $800 gimbal. It was junk. It was terrible. I would never use it. And then they sent me like one that was supposed to be used for your phone. I have a picture of it throwing my phone off the thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is horrible.
Yeah. And I remember, you asked me like, because I shot the video and I kind of don't want to post just like ripping their product, because it's kind of, and I'm like, well, just say, hey, you know, not really for me. I'll send it back. Won't post a video. It's just going to be like, because you know, by your own admission, it wasn't really like much of a video anyway. It was just a thing.
I have a guilty pleasure of watching gumball clips of that kids cartoon show called The Amazing World, and they had one thing like, you got to sell out and then you got to have money to do the show, and the show keeps falling apart. Also, I thought of you because they did like an animated tribute to the Golden Girls on that.
Someone linked me to that. It was hilarious. That show has a lot of adult, not like adult as in raunchy, but adult as in like a child is not going to understand this reference at all.
Yeah.
They had this whole bit about socialism once, because my youngest nephew watches Gumball, and so does my niece. And so when I was over in Jersey like a few weeks ago, they were kind of just sitting there watching it. I'm like, hey, let's go outside. And they were cool with it, but it's just weird in that like I ended up getting sort of like fixated on it. So I don't know.
Victorious, thank you for your donation.
Thank you.
Glad I could make it. Oh, it's a Roman question.
Oh, yay. Hello guys. Oh wait, no, you just oh no, it did the thing.
You gotta scroll up.
Scrolling. Roman, any chance you might visit Anime Expo in SoCal? We got Itasha cars and curious what a review would look like. Love your content. Enjoy some Wawa coffee on me. Thank you so much for the kind words and for the donation. I mean, I don't really travel unless it's like something I can write off, and I don't know that I guess I could write off like an Anime Expo and find some way to like,
as long as you do a video, that's for the business.
Yeah, but they're just
Roman writing services.
Yeah, that's true. It's just one of those things that I just don't really think about that much in terms of like, where would I go by myself? You know, it's just, I don't think about it that much. It's strange, but I like sort of being home. I like being in the proximity of family, and which doesn't mean I don't enjoy traveling. It's just it's not something that occurs to me naturally to do, even though I can do it.
Right.
So I don't know.
Well, I mean, we had this conversation. Like, I took a trip for myself to New Zealand.
Yeah.
Like, you deserve a trip somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere. I mean,
like, you can take the time. I can run the channel if you just want to fuck off to the UK or have your LA time.
Yeah, one of these days I'll do something. It's just a matter of coming to the decision of like what specifically do I want to do, because like it's one thing to be able to say, yeah, I want to go to the UK, but I also kind of want to do something while I'm there. Like I want to have a reason to go, like to say that I'm going somewhere to see things that and like it's also I don't feel like imposing on Tom Clark, even though I feel like I feel like he would be okay with it. But it's also that thing of like now you want to spend time with your hosts because they're your hosts, but you don't know if they necessarily want to spend time with you, and you don't want to just use them as a place to like dump all your shit and brush your teeth and have a shower and leave. You know what I mean? Because
that's what I kind of instinctually do, because I'm like, I'm not worthy of anything. I'm scum of the earth. Thank you for your bed. I'm going to get out of your hair. Because that's kind of what I did in New Zealand. Like I want to limit my exposure to you so you don't hate me eventually.
Yeah.
So, but I did have a ton of fun times, like in New Zealand on my own. And I think it was like the bottom of the top 10 things was the very first morning in New Zealand, walking the countdown and eating a pie on the curb in front of a countdown. It's like, this is the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And then when I go back in 2021, I am going to do that.
Yeah. Just, oh yes.
God,
I'm back.
Countdown. Made a pie on the ground. After this question, I have to pee.
Yeah.
Iced Ink says, currently at a truck stop / casino in Oklahoma that has the best enchiladas. Any greatest food joints in PA that you know of for the next time I go there? Been burnt out on Service Plaza food since my truck's microwave shat itself. Okay. Go to a Wegmans. Like, you're in a truck, you have to park somewhere. There's some place you can park a truck. Go into Wegmans and just have at it at that hot bar.
Yeah.
You can have your sushi. You can have a beer there. It's all healthy, or it can be unhealthy if you want it to be.
Whatever you want, but they have an entire bar that's dedicated to
this like is a supermarket, food. What we're talking about.
Yeah, it's a supermarket with a buffet. Wegmans is like a godsend. I wish I had one that wasn't like 40 minutes away, because it's basically like the greatest place. And everything that they make is made to its best possible point. Like, okay, I'm Puerto Rican and we love plátanos, which are basically like fried plantains, you know, and somehow Wegmans makes it better than like most of my people. Like, it's weird. But I mean, it's also one of those things where, you know, they pride themselves on like world cuisine, and they have all these special cheeses, and they have all these artisan craft beers, and you can make your own sixer and whatever you want. And it's just fantastic. And, you know, it's like Whole Foods, but not pretentious. And don't get me wrong, I like Whole Foods, but still it's different. There's a homier feeling with Wegmans. Other places I'd recommend, if you're passing through like Berks County, the Why I'm Missing Family restaurant had this complete overhaul of what they were, because they were originally a diner. Now they're a restaurant that closes at like 9 o'clock. And they have
West Reading Diner,
the Why I'm Missing Diner, well, Why I'm Missing Family restaurant. But basically, they become a tri-county renowned place for their fried chicken. Like, their fried chicken goes so fast. I don't know what their recipe is, and I've only had it once, and it was amazing. And then I'm like, it's so amazing that I can't have this again because I know what it's going to do to me.
So Why I'm Missing Family restaurant.
Yeah, and there's a bakery inside there, and they make all sorts of like tantalizing.
Where is this?
In Why I'm Missing. Yeah, it's used to be the YO Diner, and now it's like if you're going on Penn Avenue towards West Lawn. But yeah, and there's
is this like out of like the town proper? Are we in Sprawl now?
No.
I can just Google it.
Yeah, but also there is of course Shady Maple, but that's like if you want to have a coronary type place.
Like, food.
But they have specific like trucker thing because truckers are always like passing through there. The food is really freaking good. And except like I only go once a year because I don't want to die. And they have a gift shop so that you can walk around until the food digests enough so that you can have a shit so that you don't get the browns while you're on the road. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's fantastic. So
Shifty Eye Dog, thank you for your donation, says, why were you so timid with the Lambo regarding Freddie's twin turbo Lambo? Okay. First of all, the car is done. That car is a Frankenstein monster. Yes, it's a Lamborghini, but it's had 2 turbos strapped to it. The car was once on fire. Everything inside is kind of like vibrating against each other. And you ever get those 2, and I've said this in tweets, you ever get those 2 really strong rare earth magnets? You know what I'm talking about? I mean, the ones that'll pinch your fingers if you get your finger in between
too close. I think my nephew has 2 of those.
Okay.
For putting his Iron Man arc reactor, like fixing it to his chest. Nice. He walks around, that thing is not coming off for any reason.
Get those 2 super strong magnets, put them on the table and bring them close to each other and try to get them smoothly. You're not. At the very end, they'll slip out of your hands and go clack right together. So yeah, that's what the clutch engage is like. And also, when it comes to like home-built machines, I'm very timid. Because this is no longer built by a team, even though, yes, Lamborghini, but they're still Lamborghini. Yeah, I'm American. Engineers who have built something to adhere to Department of Transportation standards. Now this is Freddie Hernandez's build. It applies to no standards now. Yeah. Everything's like home-built cars are so weird. So you approach them like a tiger or a bear. This thing could kill you. And that was the most difficult manual I've ever driven because the engagement doesn't make sense. You think, oh, I can drive a car, just slip the clutch a little bit. You're trying to slip it and then it grabs instantly and then the car dies. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
And also because Freddie is a friend, I didn't want to be the first guy to break his car. And he told me that was the first time he ever, like, we get this. I've never sat in the passenger seat of my own car before. Yeah, it was that. And even he said that. I've never driven in the passenger side of the car. Ridden in the passenger side of the car. Hippo Picks. Hypoo Picks. No question, but thank you for the donation. And we're all caught up.
We are all caught up. So
it's a thunderstorm tomorrow.
Is it? Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we canceled the film shoot for tomorrow. I called both guys. We're gonna do it next week.
Yeah, that's cool. I have a doctor's appointment on Friday that because I'm a hypochondriac, like I'm nervous about. It's an ear, nose, and throat doctor because of my sinuses. So I'm just worried. Oh, it's gonna be throat polyps or some crazy like mess that I'm sure I'm fine, but it's still that thing of like. You start imagining and projecting of like how you're going to explain things to people if something's wrong with you or how things are going to change if something's wrong with you. Because I've had like problems before. Now, granted, nothing that severe, but enough to where, health anxiety is always a thing. But then my realization now to allow me to live my life is don't worry unless you actually have something to worry about.
Right.
Because that's really the only way that you can live. That's why like I can't Google symptoms anymore. Like I used to do it for reassurance that it wasn't anything severe of like, what are common problems that have these symptoms? Like I'll type in symptoms plus common problems just so that it links what I'm searching for to a reasonable common explanation for whatever it is. But no, it still comes back with like, you could almost like, you may have 15 minutes as you're reading this left to live. in this, because whatever it is you have is very aggressive, and you're only going to be around for until the end of the week. You might catch like the tail end of Fallon, and then that's it. And so,
what a way to go.
Yeah, tell me about it. But it's weird. I actually like Jimmy Fallon in a weird way. He kind of reminds me of me in a way, in that like you have some sort of like, I don't know, he's corny in the same way that I'm corny.
I gotcha.
And so he reminds me like that. But that, and he would do parody songs on SNL. So like that was the other thing. Because when I was growing up, all I would ever do is write parody songs in class.
Nice.
And so now it's like super weird that I do that now.
Did you see Weird Al tweeted that I don't know what they're doing using a parody of Amish Paradise in the Sonic
oh
trailer.
God, did you see the trailer?
Dude, I saw that.
That's
trailer.
So weird. He looks like he's on route to like Anthrocon. It's random. No, but like it's no judgments, but he's also hilarious in the sense that, or it's hilarious in the sense that this feels very much like classic Jim Carrey. Like the weirdo, like he's all in on being a weirdo. And I feel like this is a total paycheck role for him, but still, you know.
Yeah, he Jim anti-vaxxer Carrey. Come on, man. Like, you're part of my childhood and now you're doing this, Jim.
Yeah. Was Jenny McCarthy like really that good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just change your whole mindset.
I know. But yeah, it's just someone else on Reddit said that the Sonic trailer feels like a movie they wrote in 1998 and we're just waiting for technology to catch up.
That sounds so true, because I keep thinking of movies that take an animated thing and drop it in a live action world.
Yeah.
And those movies rarely ever work. Like, right. Yeah, maybe one of them will, but like the subsequent sequels really don't. Like, Alvin and the Chipmunks or Scooby-Doo.
Oh, yeah. Like, they come and go.
They come and go every now and then. But this feels like 2002's hottest movie.
Yeah.
You know, like ever.
Let's see if this works.
Oh,
pouring tea into a beer bottle.
That's amazing.
Oh, it feels like I'm pissing in a car.
But my youngest nephew is obsessed with Sonic, so he's super hyped for this movie.
It'll be a popcorn movie and the kids will like it and they know exactly what they're doing. Oh, you're ruining my childhood. Like, you were 6.
And it comes around at the same time as Ford v Ferrari, so you know,
yeah,
that'll be like a double feature weekend for me, like one for the kids but like one for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hippo Pix says, please give me real fart. No fake Hollywood Muji sound effects bullshit will suffice. My desire for brown. So this guy paid me $5 to fart into a microphone. Well, I'll let you know if this beer starts working. I mean, if you want a real fart, you're going to have to wait for the real deal.
The tea should get the digestion going, because it's ginger and
Sonic dies in Endgame, says someone. Did Eric Pedersen. Hello, Eric.
Hey, Eric.
Eric says, did either of you go to Farrah's wedding? No. We don't know him that well. And I don't feel weird that we didn't get to go, because I don't like weddings.
Yeah.
And I don't like weddings because like I'm like a Scrooge McDuck here. It's because after I was a videographer and I went to a bunch of weddings, I'm like, this is dumb. And I've had like I've had 2 really, really good weddings. My buddy Tom and my buddy Eric. Those weddings, and my buddy Matt Carlton. So like 3 of them, they were like, this is happiness. There's no drama. I'm just going to end it. I don't want to go to any other weddings anymore. Like the last 3 weddings I went to were fantastic. Everybody partied. No one got shit-faced. Tom's dad did have to get carried away on the caterer's golf cart, but you know, he was fine the next morning.
Yeah.
It's all good, man. And I'm fine if I never go to another wedding ever. So
yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Said the guy who's singing at a wedding in like a month. But still, it's not that I'm bah humbug about weddings. It's that I just feel kind of awkward, because I put myself in those sort of shoes and wondering how 2 people get to this point, you know, in a weird way.
Oh yeah, Eric Pedersen's getting married. He says, well, then you're not invited to mine. Just kidding. It's too much to ask anyway. Well, I guess he had to go to San Diego.
Yeah.
And congratulations.
Hey, you're
married.
So many young people getting
so
married. I mean, I mean, and hey, nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with
when they're the one, when you know, you know.
When you know, you know.
Yeah. So it's good to kind of that. And then when you're old, you get to say, like, we've been married for 60 some years.
Yeah.
And when you're both like in a rocking chair at 80, watching, you know,
and Al Roker in his robotic form will wish you a happy 60th anniversary.
Smucker's jelly and Al Roker's head in a jar. Wish you a happy birthday. 84 years young. The Today Show is going to be on forever. And they're just going to keep adding hours to it, because it used to be like an hour and a half when I was a kid or something. And then it got to 2 hours and it got to 3. And yeah, it's just the things.
I am going to, there was someone who found like all these tape cassettes of Kmart radio from the 90s and uploaded them to YouTube. I'm going to rip some of them, slow them down, put echo on them. And it's complete with like all the advertisements, like the in-store advertisements for what's on sale.
Yeah.
And it's weird that I was here like color correcting video, listening to mall music and feeling nostalgic.
They're talking about like the blue light special and all that stuff that goes on sale at Kmart.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the way Kmart radio worked was blue light specials had to be announced for that particular store, because that would be whatever would be overstocked. And then, and like the radio came from corporate, so they could only like plug featured items or stuff that got new. The one I was listening to kept referencing Martha Stewart as our lifestyle advisor. So whatever like early Martha Stewart brands was being sold by this Kmart.
Yeah.
Our nearest Kmart was up in the Frackville Mall. And I used to go to it like once or twice. But that was when Kmart only had to compete with Lane Co. and Hills.
Oh
Fucking
man, I completely forgot about Hills. How did I forget about that place?
Hills.
Huh. That wasn't a Pennsylvania place, was it? Or was that nationwide?
I don't know. There's one in Cressona, and I think
Still?
What?
Still?
No, it's not there.
All right. Yeah.
Hills, the Hills became the Staples.
Yeah, more or less.
And the Giant used to be, okay, I forget what the grocery store was like 3 versions ago, but there was briefly this grocery store called Insalacos. Yeah, your face. Yeah, I don't know. It might have been like really local. And then it became Giant. And I think Giant sells sushi now.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Oh, they do?
Quick question. Answer, why do you own a V6 automatic Mustang? Because I feel like it. Like, I don't really have a better answer than that. When I got the money to buy the car, like it was a paycheck that I had been waiting on for like some time, that had been in the mail for some months. And so when I finally got it, I'm like, I'm going to buy a car with this, because I had been without a car.
Was that car matchmaker money?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the thing. And so, yeah. And I used the money from that to buy the Mustang. And I had a very specific Mustang in mind, and I found it, and it was like the only one in the area like it, but it was an automatic. And I was sick of like not having a car. And so I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to get this. And if people want to rip on it for not being a manual, like, there's no one in the world who could possibly care less about something being a manual or not than me. Like, you're not going to get judged for not having a manual from me. I don't know why anyone else would get judged for not having a manual. Like, I could not give a yeoman shit about any of it. So it's just, I like just sort of having something that I feel comfortable driving. And that's kind of like, and she's been good to me for the most part. Like, yeah, she's had to have some work done, but who has a car that doesn't need a little love,
especially in Pennsylvania?
Tell me about it. I'm surprised she's made it this many winters.
Victorious, thank you for your donation. This is a good line. Sonic the Hedgehog is Howard the Duck of the current generation.
I suppose so. I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog was kind of something different for a lot of people of my generation, mainly because it kind of was this mascot that kind of signified where your loyalties lay. You know,
if you either Mario or Sonic.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just
I'm Gex the Ghetto for Panasonic 3DO. Thanks, man.
They made a video game with Gex, the Gecko.
Yeah, that was the mascot, I think, for 3DO.
Oh, no, but I mean like for other systems.
Oh, did
like
they?
Yeah, there was what he was like dressed like James Bond in one of them. I want to say it was for N64.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
Sonic took full advantage of blast processing. They used to like pimp that so hard on Sega commercials.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, get a Sega Genesis blast processor. And then at the end of the commercial, the kid would always have like his hair blown away of just like and electricity.
James Roll from Angry Video Game Nerd did have a video where he explained what blast processing really was. And it was, I think it was a way to cheat the ECU of the Genesis to like, it didn't have to render things that weren't on the screen. Like, I guess
so that it's only rendering what's immediately in frame.
Yeah, and instead of out of frame, like I guess it saved on processing power because the Sega Genesis didn't have the processing power of the Super Nintendo.
Now I need a leak.
Said Gex was on PlayStation 1. Okay.
I believe it. Oh, sorry. My foot grazed the tablet.
They ought to have people just handing out edibles when you go in to watch Sonic the Hedgehog the movie. It's like, Morty, just go with it.
Yeah, like if you have a child with you, you make sure that it's the type of edible that's only going to last the duration of the movie, so you can get your kid home safe.
Yeah,
but other than
that, for that, you should just really like smoke weed. But you should have somebody who would have it like in a vape pen, and just vape pen your way, hot box yourself in the bathroom like we're doing this. Buzztard says, "Happy International Labor Day, the real one." My Sega had an i7. The old Kmart in my area is now an Ollie's discount liquidation store. Yeah, we got one of those Ollie's too. I kind of think I need to buy more stuff for the Appalachian Trail because I was up at Bake Oven Knob today. And first of all, I mean, I said this to Nick, and actually I think I can pull it up on the tablet here and just hold it up to the webcam. I saw the whitest white kid graffiti out on the trail because like it's Pennsylvania, which means people are going to graffiti rocks. It's like the lamest thing, but you just have a bunch of like really unimaginative high schoolers, and they're going in the woods, so they have to graffiti something. Okay, so I was up hiking up on the Appalachian Trail today, like right before this, and I saw this graffiti on this rock. Are you ready for this? I'm going to walk up to the camera and show it to you. I guess I could tweet this and put it on Instagram, but I'd have to find like the perfect subtitle for this. This is what was graffitied on a rock. Ready? Here we go. Getting it up. Coming over here. Talking about the graffiti on the rock.
Nice.
Up, down.
Oh, it's you can see it. It's just reversed.
Oh.
Well, people will be able to figure it out.
Yeah. It's just a rock that says gay. So I don't know if this is a celebration or a condemnation or just an actuality.
A
gay rock? Gay rocks? It's brilliant because it wasn't thought out, but I kind of want to go back there with my Nikon D750 and take real artistic photos of this and try to submit it to things.
It's just the year-end yearbook.
Yeah.
Of pop culture.
Right.
Oh, maybe it's a meeting spot. That would make sense, although completely unsubtle.
Yeah.
Gay rock.
JR says there's a rock in my area that just says Obama. It could mean both things as well. We've been going for we're swinging up to 2 hours now. Greetings from Italy. What do we got going on? We got to film this Saturday.
Yep.
And then Monday, you can come along if you want. This is a dealership out in Jersey who has a bunch of like Porsches and stuff.
Probably gonna skip.
Okay. Tony Airlines says he can, since he's local-ish to the area. Cool. He just meet me there, so I guess he can just run the camera.
Cool.
I know the car we're gonna do, and it'll be stuff. It'll be rife for commentary.
Nice.
So
I want to try.
It's not going to be a Porsche. It's going to be something Malaise era. So it's going to, or like the tail end of the Malaise era.
Yeah. I also want to do my brother's girlfriend's car sooner rather than later. I just got to work around her crazy schedule.
And then the week after next is Nashville.
And to the museum.
There will not be Hipu Peaks, no question, but thank you for your donation. There will be no RCR meet as of this moment in RCR Nashville, because we will be keeping busy. We're going on somebody else's podcast. And also we kind of want, it's like we arrived there at like, a plane lands at like 10:30 p.m.
Yeah.
So we're going right there to the airport and probably just to the hotel, just crashing. Next day, we'll be filming 2 cars at the auto museum and then doing a podcast afterwards. And then it'll be just like dinner probably somewhere filled with beers and food, and stagger back to the hotel, be done with that day. The next day, only have 1 car to film, and then the rest of the day to actually do something in Nashville, and then the next day fly home.
Nice.
So that's going to be Nashville. So there's really no place in there to have an RCR meet. We just run ourselves ragged.
Yeah, would be a bit of a ragged run.
Hippo Pick says, "Don't forget my fart." I don't have to fart, man. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, thank you for your donation, but the plumbing's clear.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. So, is this a podcast?
I'm calling it.
Okay.
It's a podcast.
All right.
So we will talk to you presumably next week, barring anything crazy or anything. So yeah, if this has been RCR podcast number 60. I'm Nick.
I'm Brian.
And this is going to be going up soonish. So check it out on iTunes, Podcast Addict, Stitcher, Google Play. Just find us on there and you can listen away, and the audio quality will be better on that than on this because of the Zoom.
Yep.
So yeah, thank you so much, and we will talk to you next time.
Yep. Thank you to everybody who donated to Super Chat, and thank you for everybody who donates to the RCR Patreon. You're allowing us to exist as a much larger YouTube channel than we really are. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye-bye.